Hello, hiring manager or CEO or business owner or whatever your title is. The person that makes the decisions on whether or not to bring new people into the team. Here's a rant for you. By the way, I'm recording this on October 5th, 2021, in a crazy candidate market, meaning candidates have all kinds of choices on jobs, especially if they're software engineers. And that's what this story is about, software engineer. I mean, literally, software engineers get 5-10 phone calls from recruiters a day. Like they can have whatever job they want, pretty much. Anyway, here's a rant for you. So we're a recruiting firm, right? We get paid by the client to find job candidates and place them into the company. We're working on a search recently. Now, let me give you some details. The client already had this job open for 90 days. So pay attention to the timeline here because this will be critical in the story. The client had already been working on it for 90 days. Then they called us. We had been working on it for another 30, 45 days. We presented 5 or 6 people, great candidates, at least as far as we were concerned. But the recruiter always thinks all the candidates are great, right? Anyway, we felt very confident that the candidates were good. The client calls, the hiring manager calls and says, we really like Mary. Mary's great. Out of the people you presented, we really like Mary. Boy, she is a 99% match. She's got everything we're looking for, almost, right? She matches her compensation, matches the budget. She lives 10 minutes from the office. She's got the right amount of years of experience. Her personality matches our team culture, blah, blah, blah. Everybody in the office liked her, all the rest of it. But, out of the 29 things that we wanted you to have, or we wanted her to have on the requirements list that we sent you. I'm joking around about the 29 things, but it feels that way sometimes, right? Out of the 29 things that we wanted the candidate to have, there's this one particular programming language that she's not super efficient at. She just got a little bit of experience at it, not quite enough, but boy, everything else about her is great. So we just don't have the time to train her up and get her more efficient on that one program. That'll take too long, and we really need to fill this position. Okay, let me just recap that for you, okay, in case you missed any of that. The job was open for 90 days, so they already went 90 days without somebody doing the work, right? Somebody else on the team is having to double up already because this position is missing. We work on it for another 45 days, okay? We present people. They tell us that the candidate is a 99% match and everybody on the team loves her. But this one particular programming language is not quite as efficient. And, that might take a couple of weeks to train her up on that. So, well, we'd rather you guys just spend another 30 days looking for people. Oh, man, I tell you, I've done so many episodes on this topic, right? So many episodes. Here's the deal, and it goes way beyond software engineers, right? In this market, 2021, if you get an 80% match in front of you and the person's style and personality fit what you're looking for, fits the team likes her, it's a culture fit, etc. They got great references, great work ethic, but not a job hopper, etc. Like what are you doing? Hire them. So many CEOs specifically that I've talked to, they almost forget that they weren't the perfect candidate or the perfect resume for the CEO job they have right now. Somebody gave them a shot, right? Somebody trained them up. Somebody gave them an opportunity to move into a position that they weren't 100% qualified for. Isn't it so interesting, right? Hiring managers. You talk to a hiring manager and they're trying to dissect job candidates. Like the candidate needs to be like this perfect robot that has absolutely no blemishes or like the perfect resume before they can make a decision. Meanwhile, they forget themselves, right? They forget to look in the mirror. They forget that their own career path wasn't absolutely perfect, and people gave them opportunities and job opportunities and hired them when they weren't 100% qualified. It's amazing how hiring managers forget that when they're interviewing job candidates. It blows me away, really. By the way, and now I'm really ranting now, I'm just going off. By the way, if you think a super long interview process and testing process and putting people through 5 rings of fire and waiting for the perfect LinkedIn profile and the perfect resume, if you think that that always ends up in the best hires and people that stay the longest, you are living in some type of weird fantasy world. Okay. Because it's not true. It's not true. Just do the math, do your own internal study. I mean, really, just really think about all the people you've hired over the years. You think your best long-term employees are always the ones that had the perfect interview or the perfect resume or the perfect LinkedIn profile? No, I can almost guarantee you it's not. In fact, the people that end up being the most loyal and staying the longest and being the hardest workers are the ones that you brought in and helped groom and mold and shape and train a little bit and get them into certain positions. Maybe you gave them a shot and they greatly appreciate it. And now they're super loyal to you forever. Try hiring Mr. Perfect and see how that works out. Mr. Perfect's got a big ego. Guess what? Mr. Perfect probably don't stay very long anyway. And you had to pay him too much. You went over your budget as well. Okay, so anyway, I'm just ranting, but the point is stop waiting for the perfect resume and LinkedIn profile and perfect interview. It never works out like you think it's going to anyway. In this market, if you get a halfway decent, halfway, it's got to be more than 50%, but if you get a pretty solid match, 80, 85% match, you love their style, personality, work ethic, attitude, the team likes them, it feels right, your gut says it's right, then hire them, make a move, stop messing around. You're wasting time. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day.